Hi, everybody. I hope you're doing well still. I just got done recording the daily message for today with the tarot reading, or excuse me, oracle reading. And I want to expand a little bit more on your intuition building. Because I know that's a question that I get quite a lot when I'm talking to people about, like spiritual gifts and so on and so forth. And, I get the question all the time of, oh, seeing how you've come into your own gifts and everything, can you help me? And so on and so forth. And to tell you the truth, I think it's going to be a little different for everybody. But in the core of it is, I feel that first thing that you have to do, of course, is to do your inner work. That is the most important. Uh, Going back, of course, clearing out a lot of the gunk and so forth, revisiting things from your past, making peace with it. Not necessarily, basically doing your healing work, not necessarily forgetting it or what have you, or drowning it or anything like that. You really need to come to terms with it. Really face it, face those fears, face those the traumas, the hurt, the pain, all of that stuff, and really come to terms with it. If you have like a parent or grandparent or whatever that did you wrong, who was abusive, or maybe a friend, maybe an ex, or what have you, you really need to face those things. You need to face those feelings. You don't necessarily have to go and talk to them, especially, it can be kind of difficult if they've already passed on, obviously. You don't necessarily have to face them. You just need to face it within yourself. Face those issues that you have with them, with those experiences and so forth, with your fears and everything else within yourself. Okay, and make peace with them. Shake it, really look at it in the eye and shake hands with it and be like, you know what? I love you. Actually tell it. Tell those fears and everything that you love them. I accept you, and shake on it. If you have to imagine yourself standing there, or maybe the devil or whatever, actually just shake hands and be like, thank you. I recognize you. I understand you. Actually say that you love them and make peace with them. I think that's one of the most important things that you can do before you can. And then at the same time, of course, as you're doing that, you're starting to feel more and more at peace with yourself, and learning how to really, get things to calm down, calming those anxieties, basically calming down that dark side of yourself. And that, I think, is probably the most important step that really anybody should be taking, whether you're trying to tap into your, spiritual gifts or not. I feel that that is probably the most important thing that anybody should be able to do, just for life skills even. And then the next thing that you really have to do, of course, it's also important to be connected with spirit, learning how to connect with spirit, learning how to connect with your guides, your archangels, your ancestors, so on and so forth. Learning how to connect with them, have conversations with them, even if you have to talk to them out loud. Just be like, hey, look, I'm having this issue, or you know what, I need some guidance, or whatever the case may be. Actually physically talk to them. They're there. Yeah, you may feel like a fool talking to yourself, but who cares? Especially if you're doing it alone, who cares? Who's going to care? Who's going to know that you're having these conversations or whatever? I mean, if you want to talk to somebody about it, about the experiences that you're having on your spiritual journey, great. But when it comes to actually having those conversations with spirit and so forth, do it. If anything, it helps because then you can connect with them in your mind. All right. And then the other thing that you have to do, which has probably been the hardest thing for me to face, is trust. And that is multifaceted because I know I have big time trust issues. I have trust issues with other people. Um, um, of course, part of it is because of experiences that I've had in this lifetime, but more importantly, I think I was just kind of born a suspicious person and of course, not trusting. So that has probably been one of the most difficult things, and it's even right in my birth chart, especially with being a Scorpio. We're some of the most untrusting people because we are so secretive and so forth. So, yeah, and allowing ourselves to basically be exposed or what have you. I know that that doesn't sound right, but you understand what I'm trying to say there. And that has been very, very difficult for me, is the trust. Not just trust in other people, trust in spirit, trust in my guides, trust and trusting in myself. That has been one of the more difficult things. Just going back, like the other day where we were talking about with the autumn equinox spread, with the self-doubt and the hope, definitely those are issues that I have. That self-doubt. Oh, am I really having a conversation with spirit, or am I just talking to myself? Am I just imagining all of this? Going back, with that 3D conditioning, where everybody's always, you have that element here on earth where everybody's telling you, oh, it's all part of your imagination. Oh, it's, you're just crazy, or what have you, going right back to that questioning, having that question mark in the back of my head all the time. Is this really happening? And that has probably been one of the more difficult things for me to work through. And I had something happen last night. I won't go into it all and everything, that really solidified everything for me. That, yes, most importantly, I can trust myself and what I'm feeling. And the only way that you really can, and I've realized the only way that you really can be in that place of trust is to have it come from a place of purity, innocence, and joy. That youthful innocence, purity, and joy. And that's what I had to realize. Once I realize it sounds naive and everything, but basically that's where you have to have it come from, is from there. Thinking back to when you were a child and everything was new, fresh and new, and you had such implicit trust in somebody, like your parents or what have you. That is where you have to have it come from, that trust. And it's taken a lot for me to realize that. And so I just wanted to impart that what I have learned here recently, and hopefully maybe it might help you all, especially with your spiritual development and so forth. And it's amazing with the things that I have had happen today, because I have come to that realization. And I love it. It's a great place to be. It's a great feeling to be. I know I have much more work to do, as we all do, all the way until the day we die. It's always a life lesson journey. But in the meantime, I know I'm in a really, really good place. And I'm looking forward to the next journey. So I hope you all have a great weekend. And I look forward to talking to you all again.